Hello everyone, welcome to online Savi video tutorial on applied hydraulics. Today we are discussing module 2, that is open channel flow, and in this class we are discussing the Chassis equation for flow through open channel. So to derive the Chassis equation, we have considered a uniform flow of water in a channel as you see in the figure, and as the flow is assumed to be uniform, the velocity, depth and area of flow will be constant for a given length of the channel. So the uniform flow means the depth, so the depth is denoted as y, okay, the depth of flow, velocity and the area of flow is assumed to be constant for a given length of the channel. So as you see in the figure, as we have considered a uniform flow, so we have considered two sections, section 1 and section 2, and here let L is the length of the channel, L be the length of the channel and A be the area of flow of water, and I, so you can see I here, so I is the bed slope of the channel, and V is the mean velocity of flow of water, mean velocity of flow, and after that P is the wetted perimeter, P is the wetted perimeter, and F is the frictional resistance per unit velocity per unit area, per unit velocity per unit area. And here what we are going to do, so as you see here, so whatever the water which is present between section 1 and section 2, so the weight of that water is considered as W. So W is the weight of water between section 1 and section 2. So and also, so if we take the bed of the channel as an x-axis, if you consider this is the bed of the channel, if this is the bed of the channel, so if we consider this to be the axis and perpendicular x-axis, if we consider this to be the x-axis and perpendicular to this will be y-axis. So with respect to this y-axis, W is an inclined force, so it will be acting at an angle I. So that is nothing but whatever the angle, that is nothing but the bed slope I. So with respect to the same angle, the weight of the liquid will be acting. So you can resolve this W into two components. One is along the direction of flow as W sin I, and perpendicular to that as W cos I. So you can resolve the weight of water into two components. One is W sin I and W cos I. So let us find what is this weight, that is the W is the weight of water between section 1 and section 2. So that water, the weight of water we have considered as W. So and as per the weight density formula, we know weight density gamma is equal to weight by volume. So weight will be equal to gamma into volume. So it is volume, and gamma can also be represented in terms of small w. So another, the gamma that is nothing but the specific weight can also be represented as small w into volume. So volume is area into length. So here, so area of this particular water into the length of the channel between section 1 and section 2. Okay, so the area of this section of channel, that is between 1 and 2, is A, and the length, so that is volume. So weight will be equal to small w into A into L. So that is the weight of water between section 1 and section 2. So as I have already told, so you can resolve the weight into two components. One is W cos I and W sin I. So here we are not going to consider W cos I, so because it is not along the direction of the flow. So you can see this is the direction of flow. So we are going to consider only the force along the direction of flow, that is W sin I. So the component of W along direction of flow, is equal to, so W sin I. So what is W? So substitute that here. It will be small w A into L into sin I. Okay. See here why we are calculating all this. Ultimately what we are going to do. So we are going to resolve the forces along the direction of the flow. So as you see here, so between section 1 and section 2 there are 4 forces will be acting. So the forces acting. So let us just first calculate what are the forces acting on water between section 1 and section 2. Okay, so the forces acting are 4 forces are acting. The first one is the weight, so that is nothing but W A L sin I. So that is the weight of water along the direction of flow. So that is nothing but W sin I, which is sub W A L sin I. Okay, and the second force, you can see between section 1 and section 2 there are 2 pressure forces. One is P1 and P2. So P1 and the third force is P2. So the pressure forces at section 1, okay, and pressure force at section 2. So these are the other 2 forces. What is the remaining force? The fourth force. See, if you see, as the water flows in the channel, there will be a frictional force. Okay, there will be a frictional resistance. So the fourth force which act on the water between section 1 and section 2 is the frictional force or frictional resistance. Okay, frictional resistance against flow of water. So totally there are 4 forces. Okay, see, as per the definition we have considered the uniform flow. So the flow in the open channel we have considered as a uniform flow. So uniform flow means what? The depth of the flow remains same at section 1 and section 2. Okay, y1 is equal to y2. As the depth remains same, the pressure forces on these 2 sections will also be same, but opposite in, like, acting in the opposite direction. If the magnitude are same, acting in the opposite direction, then what happens? So those 2 forces will be get cancelled out. Okay, so as from the definition of uniform flow, the depth remains same at section 1 and section 2. So the pressure forces on these 2 sections are same, and but acting in the opposite direction. So that's why they cancels each other. Okay, so P1 will become 0, P2 will become 0. So only now we have 2 forces left with. So one is the weight of the water between section 1 and section 2. Another one is the frictional resistance. Okay, so we have to find the frictional resistance. Okay, so the frictional resistance, so let us find what is the what is frictional resistance against the flow of water. So that will be equal to coefficient of friction into surface area into velocity to the power n. So usually n is assumed to be 2. Okay, so which is found from the experiment. And surface area, so surface area is perimeter into length. It is not the overall cross sectional area, it is only the surface area. So the surface area is perimeter into length. So the frictional resistance F, So let us just take frictional resistance as F is equal to F, that is the coefficient of friction, into surface area into velocity to the velocity square. So this is the frictional resistance and weight. Okay, so now you can see the frictional resistance always act in the opposite direction to the direction of flow. So this is the direction of flow, but friction will be always opposite to the direction of motion. Okay, and so W sin I is acting towards the right. You can see, the sign convention. So that is, towards right is positive and towards left is negative. So if you see friction is towards left, so it will be negative, and the weight component will be positive. So let us resolve all the forces along this x-axis. Okay, so that is nothing but the summation of Fx is equal to 0. So let us just resolve all the forces along x direction and equate it to 0. Okay, so if you see the weight component, so that is WA small w, that is specific weight, AL sin I minus FPL square is equal to 0. Okay, so let us just simplify this. So let us simplify this. WA, so this is L, so WAL sin I, so we'll send this to the right hand side. So it will be FPL square. So L will get cancelled. So V square is equal to WA sin I divided by F into P. So here, so what we'll do, see, this is a specific weight. So specific weight of water remains constant, that is 9810, so kilonewton per meter cube. Okay, so specific weight remains constant. So what we'll do, we'll rearrange this equation. So we'll rearrange that equation. So I'll write here V square is equal to, so W divided by F. See, this specific weight and the friction, the coefficient of friction are a constant terms. So we have taken outside. So we have grouped these two terms, and A by P, area to the wetted perimeter, into sin I. See here, see this, the bed slope, the I is very small. Okay, so sin I will be approximately equal to I, because so the bed slope will be very small. So that's why we can write the sin I as I, and let us take the square root. V will be equal to W by F into square root of A by P into I. So here W, the square root of W divided by F is nothing but the constant, that is Chassis constant. So and A by P is nothing but the hydraulic mean depth, that is denoted as M, or it is also denoted as R. So we, both the terms are used. Some textbooks will be using R and some will be using M. Okay, so it is root M into I. So this is the equation for velocity. So we know the continuity equation, because ultimately we have to derive the equation for discharge. Q is equal to area into velocity. So Q is equal to, so area into C into root M into I. So this is the Chassis equation for a discharge and Chassis equation for velocity. So this is the Chassis formula for a flow through open channel flow. Thank you all. Let us just continue the next topic in the next class.